This is Dan of Vagabond Buddha,
From
and we are in Dalat, Vietnam. We just spent the last few days showing you Dalat, the city and restaurants and nightlife, walking tour. But today we're taking you outside Dalat to see places that are interesting nearby. And right now the hills are alive with the sound of tea. This is a tea plantation. We're going to show you this. Hopefully there's coffee or tea at the top. That's what we're hoping.
I don't think so.
You don't think so? So these are tea plants, and they come along and they clip the tops off whenever there's a nice new leaves on top, and they dry them out and process them, and you drink it. There's no coffee at the top.
Who fault? Your fault.
I didn't install a coffee plant at the top. Let's go to this one over here. Young lady.
Hey, you have a nice glasses, huh?
No, they're not nice glasses. So this is the Cow Dao Temple. Chung Hui read about it when we were in, I can't remember, maybe Hanoi, and she was looking forward to seeing it when we go to Ho Chi Minh.
I saw the eye symbol.
At the top?
Yeah. Hello.
Yeah, so this is a religion that combines Buddha, Allah, and Christ.
Wow. It's very colorful.
Yeah, it's very colorful.
The cloud is not working.
above the altar here is Buddha, Jesus. I think that's a Taoist god there. And one of those must be Allah or a tribute to Allah, and that might be Mother Mary over here. Fascinating.
Right, it's very fascinating.
Very fascinating, yeah. In South America, the Spanish were famous for adopting or annexing local symbolism into Christianity in order to win over the locals. My own sense of religion is that they're all talking about the same thing, but the men are convincing each other to kill each other by saying they're different. And I'm probably hurting a lot of people by saying that, but my apologies. This is fascinating. Of course, many in the East believe that Jesus visited the East in the midst of the lost years when he wasn't spoken about. And when he came back, his philosophy was quite Eastern. Turn the other cheek, rather than eye for eye, tooth for tooth, which is what the Old Testament said. And he talked about heaven on earth. And I think that is what he's talking about there is awakening while you're alive. And about being the Son of God. In Eastern philosophy, we're all God. God is everything. So we're all sons of God, daughters of God, even trees and animals. So this is kind of integrating it all here. Interesting. This is the Lin Pak Pagoda. It was constructed in 1952. It has mosaic reliefs featuring the history of Buddha and the Lotus Sutras. In the Lotus Sutra, the Buddha teaches that Buddhas are to use skillful means to adapt their teachings according to the capabilities of their audience. Buddha teaches that the ultimate purpose of the Buddhas that have obtained the insight of the Buddha is to cause sentient beings to obtain the insight of the Buddha. And that's in the Ways and Means chapter of the Lotus Sutra. This 37-meter tower is the highest temple bell tower here in Vietnam. We showed you the Emerald Buddha in Thailand. That's what these are. I believe these are replicas of that. Anyway, they look like it. I don't know if you can tell, but the surfaces in this place it's all mosaic, as I mentioned earlier. Small pieces of tile chipped and glued onto the surface. I don't know if you can see this or not, but it's a dragon. It's actually made out of beer bottles. And there's both green and brown beer bottles. Some of the bottles even have the brands on them. And this dragon is protecting Buddha. There's Buddha in the center there, and that's the dragon head up there. Pretty cool, huh? Don't mess with Buddha. And I don't really believe they thought Buddha was, in charge of dragons. Personally, I think this is a metaphor for the human mind. It's such a powerful thing that Buddha could sit in the, if you will, into the mouth of the dragon and be in peace. I think, to me, that's what it means. Rather than he has some kind of violent defender. It's the claw of the dragon. So this is Truklam. It's a Zen Buddhist temple. One of the former emperors of the Nguyen dynasty abdicated power to his son. His son became king, and he became a Buddhist monk and formed the Truklam Zen sect of Buddhism. He'd studied the three major sects, SECTS, in China of Zen Buddhism, and integrated them into one and brought it to Vietnam. Sort of in a nutshell, it's the belief that the practice of being awake is constant and in all circumstances. It's sort of a living awakeness rather than just during meditation, just for yoga or
Tego my сейчас видели на сцене.
Đó, là đó, như một bức tranh luôn. Chị đứng đây em chụp tiếp.
Sao mấy chị em mình cứ chụp vài kiểu đến ngay nhá.
This is Dan of Vagabond Awake, the YouTube channel for Vagabond Buddha. Click the link below this video to get the interactive Google map for this scooter tour. The same link also has everything you'll need to retire early and live cheap in Dalat, Vietnam, including restaurants, accommodations, nightlife, and free tours, cost of living and livability, plus my free ebook, How to Fire Your Boss and Travel the World. Okay, thanks for listening. If you're enjoying this video, could you please like it, subscribe, or comment? Any of those things would help our business. We'd really appreciate it. Thanks so much. We write reports about the best places in the world to retire cheap. Come on over to Vagabond Buddha and check us out. Just click the link below this video. Come to Vagabond Buddha, see what the sort of services and prices we have. Thanks so much.